Right, next process then is talk you through the opening of the rear door and tipping the tank. So we've got enough clearance around the back of the vehicle, we've got no one else around, so that's fairly safe. And if we have a look above, there's nothing in the way that's going to cause a problem. Close to the tree, but it shouldn't affect the tipping of the tank. So the first thing we need to do is to close the boom valve. Now we can hear the boom valve shut. We're going to now build up some vacuum. We've got another gauge up on the boom that we can see there. So the needle's going to swing to the right to tell us we're building up vacuum. Once we've built up enough vacuum, we're then going to bring the door clamps out. I pointed to door clamps out in an earlier video, and I'll go through those with you when we're ready. So we're going to start the back pump now, and we're going to let the vacuum start building up. Gauge. Once we get up to about 18 inches of mercury, okay, so we're getting close now to 20, that's easy enough. We operate the door clamp lever, this little joystick here, so you pull on the lever and it should bring the door clamps out. Now to make sure all four clamps are out, both of these two are out. Okay, you can see the block itself all greased up. Should have two on the inside. And we can see both of these door clamps are out as well. That one's out, and the one at the top's out as well. So all four clamps are out. So we must remember now that we've got vacuum lock on the tank. If we try and open the door now, we could end up in trouble because we've got a huge amount of vacuum inside that we need to get rid of before we can operate the door lever. So you have to open the boom valve. So it's going to be a bit noisy. That's got rid of the vacuum. If we check the gauge again, we can see the gauge is down towards 0. So we've got no vacuum on. We go to the three-way block. We're going to operate the right-hand lever, push the lever up, and the door should open. Lever is now going to tip the tank, so we're just going to take the tank up a little bit. Just be careful when you take the tank up to make sure nothing catches. So I'm going to swap out. We've got the tank tipped, it's not all the way, it will go much higher. I'm going to stop the pump just for a moment, just to make it easier so you can hear me. The tank will go significantly higher, it'll go all the way up to the end of the ramp. Now sometimes, because of the weight of water that's in the front, it might not go all the way. And it's simply because there's too much water in the front. So what we'd have to do then is open our resealer valves, this one this side and one the other side, and we can drain some of the water out, which will allow the tank to go to its full extent. On this occasion we've gone high enough just for the purposes of the video. So whilst we've got the tank tipped and the back door open, we'll have a look at a few bits inside. First thing you'll notice is the screen. So this is the screen that covers the outlet port, which is up here. The outlet port is your dewatering valve. So that particular one goes to your dewatering valve, the valve on the right hand side. when the screen is up against the door, you can see when it's fully down, it will cover that particular port. The other one, this one, that's your loading and unloading valve. So when we're actually loading the material in or discharging out, it comes out through the left hand valve. If you look inside, you should be able to see the primary cutout, the ball in the cage at the top of the tank. And you can also see the back end of the boom. So that plastic pipe that you can see there is the back of the boom. So this is what I was saying earlier on. To operate your push to blow function on the control panel on that boom, you've got to have at least half a tank. Otherwise it won't work. So in effect, that pipe that you can see there has to be immersed in the water, in the product. Otherwise you won't get your push to blow function. You can also see a stainless steel liner, which is at the bottom of the tank, and that's there to help the load slip out when we're emptying. So if there was anything in the tank, it would now be on its way out, obviously. Okay, so we go through the process now of closing the back door and bringing the, well, I'll bring the tank down first, then we'll close the door. Same procedure, but in reverse. We don't need the vacuum pump running if we're going to lower the tank, simply because of the weight of water in the front tank. So we can gently bring that down. And then to close the door, we need to start the vac pump again. So back onto the right hand lever, push the lever down, and the door will close. Down for a couple of seconds once the door has closed, just to make sure it's sealed correctly. Then we're going to close the boom valve, red button. We want to build the vacuum back up again now. If we watch the gauge, you should see the vacuum building. Once the vacuum gets up to about 18, should be enough vacuum in there for us to bring the door clamps back in. So we're back onto the little joystick, push this away from us, and the clamps will start coming in. We're going to check to make sure that they've all gone in. Both of those clamps are in okay. And both of these clamps are in okay. So all the clamps are now back in, back round the side again. Need to open the boom valve to get rid of the vacuum. Needle's gone to 0. I'm happy now that we've got the vacuum, we can stop the back pump. So that's the procedure for opening the back door and tipping the tank, a gravity discharge. Okay, and you've got to follow that sequence exactly as we just done it. Same for bringing it back down and closing the door, same procedure again. So that's that.